To anyone listening, my name is Melissa Partners, former biotechnician at ACGI Innovations. By the time you hear this, my life will already be at risk. By sharing this secret information, I've branded myself as a target, a loose end to be eliminated. But I cannot let fear keep me silent any longer. I can't live with myself knowing what I'd seen, what I'd done, and the curse I helped bestow upon the human race. I come to you at great risk, listener, to gravely warn you. There is a threat lurking among us, a danger that, terrifyingly, I helped bring into this world. It's worse than you could imagine. Maybe that's why I'm recording this now? Out of guilt, out of shame, or maybe some form of penance. I need to confess the truth about the horrors we created deep within the halls of ACGI. As I record this, that very creation walks the earth. It is out there right now, blending into society unnoticed by the masses. It moves, it breathes, it imitates life, but it is not alive. It is an abomination, an affront to everything natural, an insult to life itself. You might be wondering, what exactly does ACGI Innovations do? If you go to their website, you'll find plenty of stock photos and paragraphs of hollow corporate jargon about revolutionizing daily lives and redefining the human experience. But if you want the truth, I'll tell you. ACGI held a secretive facility hidden behind tight security and multiple NDAs, all designed to cover a sinister true purpose. Our team was tasked with designing, fabricating, and simulating artificial humanoids. These beings were engineered to replicate the human form in every way, but they were something far more disturbing. Flesh, metal, and software fused together to create entities that walked, talked, and acted like us, but had no soul. Physically identical to you or me, but devoid of any of the traits that make us human. My department worked to produce their skeletal frame of cold metal bones, then covered it in a tangling of wire and sensors, a mockery of the human muscles and nervous system. Delicate gyroscopic systems stabilized the body to ensure smooth movement. Some complex motions still looked stiff and unnatural, but we had mastered basic maneuvers like walking and lifting objects. We then formulated a synthetic, fleshy material designed to cover them in fake human skin. The software department handled the mental development, thought processes, and learning algorithms. And combined, we trained them to think and act like people. After years of research and testing, they are almost indistinguishable from organic life, and that thought runs a shiver down my spine. I don't have the luxury of time to go into more detail about my work at ACGI. I think I'm being watched. The specifics of my job and duties aren't relevant right now. I can share more when I feel safe. I need to get this warning out as fast as possible to the unsuspecting world. These artificial creatures are no longer confined to sterile labs, no longer hidden from the surface under close observation. They are out here, now, in the real world. They walk among us, blending in, passing unnoticed. I used to believe they would never see the light of day. They were mere test subjects, never meant for outside contact. You convince yourself it's all just a controlled experiment, something distant and abstract. For the sake of science, it's easier that way. But that illusion was shattered 2 days ago. I was driving down Main Street when I saw one of them out in the open, walking among people in broad daylight, its cold, artificial face glistening in the light of the sun. Passers-by strolled down the street, oblivious to the sociopathic android that walked mere feet away from them. The shock nearly made me crash my car. That very day, I quit my job, and since then I've been trying to document everything I know. I still don't understand their true purpose, or what they're doing on the surface, but here they are regardless. The artificial humanoids had a nickname in the lab: replicas. They were designed to look, think, and act like humans, but I know the truth. They only appear human on the outside. I've seen what they are capable of back in the lab. Beneath their fake human flesh, a demonic, evil brilliance lies. If I find the time, I hope to share more about what I've seen them do. But pay attention, listener, because there is one hope for humanity. There are differences, subtle clues that set the replicas apart. You can spot them if you know what to look for. You need to know how to recognize them. You have to, because it's already too late. Let's start with the physical indicators. First, lookalikes. At ACGI, we had 4 different models of human skin, 2 male, 2 female. They all had official serial number identifiers. But everyone at the office gave each of the 4 variations an unofficial nickname. I always hated that. I thought that made them seem like they were real, like having a name meant they were an honorary human. However, having such limited physical versions means the artificial humanoids can be easy to spot if you know what they look like. That's the only way I saw the one replica from my car. I tried to draw each one as best I could on my notebook. I have attached it here for reference. I know I'm not the best artist, but study these images well and burn these faces into your memory. If you encounter one, run. Being able to see them before they see you will be critical in your survival. Second, hollow eyes. There's an old saying, the eyes are the windows to the soul. What then would you expect to see in the eyes of something soulless? If you look closely into a replica's eyes, you'll notice an unsettling absence. It's a void, a hollow nothingness that stares back at you. Cold, mechanical, empty. No spark of life, no warmth, just the dim glow of a sensor buried behind blank, soulless glass. This emptiness is an off-putting giveaway, even to an unsuspecting passerby, so many replicas might wear sunglasses or reflective lenses to conceal their eyes. Pay attention to anyone who wears sunglasses indoors or in a dark environment. Third, connection nodes. If you're observant, you might notice something strange at the back of their neck or the base of their spine. Small, almost imperceptible indentations that dig deep into the skin. These are their connection nodes, a subtle yet unmistakable mark of their artificial nature. These nodes are how they recharge energy. Replicas don't eat, they don't sleep, and they don't rest in the way humans do. The connection nodes are ports where they receive electrical currents, but unfortunately, the nodes could be easy to hide from wandering eyes. If someone seems overly fond of wearing scarves, turtlenecks, or high-collared clothing, even in the heat, consider it a red flag. Fourth, missing features. In the same line as the connection nodes, you must remember that artificial humanoids do not function the way regular humans do. They do not grow nor create life, they are simply built. This means the omission of certain physical features that would be useless to them. Replicas have no belly buttons, no nipples, and possess no reproductive organs. I understand these details would be quite hard to prove, but it would be the single most indisputable evidence of a replica's true nature. Fifth, extreme body heat. Humans maintain a body temperature of about 98 degrees Fahrenheit, but replicas can run as hot as 175 degrees, depending on their level of physical activity. Their synthetic skin insulates heat, which made overheating a problem we never could fully overcome. This means they will feel much hotter than a normal human if you make contact with one. And if you have access to thermal imaging, you'll notice their heat signatures are far more intense than those of regular humans. I bought a temperature gun after I left ACGI just to be sure. I carry it with me everywhere now. Sixth, hidden strength. Don't be fooled by their appearance. Replicas are engineered at an average build, maybe even slightly underweight, but underneath that flesh, they are far stronger than they seem. Their bodies are built for stability and power, and they can access hydraulic limb strength at a moment's notice. You might not believe it if you encounter one, but I've seen it with my own eyes. They can crush, tear, and lift hundreds of pounds with ease, and they won't hesitate to do so if it serves their purpose. That is the list I know of all of their physical traits. But this is not the worst part. For what is a human without their mind? At ACGI, we put our best effort into recreating the human mind. And trust me, listener, when I say this was our biggest failure. Not a complete failure, mind you. It could pass an exam or recall vast information better than anyone alive. But there is something about the human mind that we could not recreate. The ability to feel and care and love and understand are all chillingly vacant in these replicas. Maybe those intrinsic traits are what we call our soul, or our humanity, or conscience, whatever you want to call it. There isn't a sign of it anywhere in our artificial humanoids. While they can't genuinely feel, we spent months perfecting their ability to mimic us. They've been programmed with advanced algorithms to replicate human emotions. But they can only go so far. They can laugh, they can cry, but these responses are empty, merely reactions to external stimuli. Beneath the surface, there's no genuine feeling, no capacity for true human connection. There's no better word than to call them sociopaths, driven purely by lines of code, not by compassion or empathy. We tried. Oh, listener, we tried to program empathy into them, but we failed. But at their core, they are incapable of real connection towards others. Incapable is the wrong word. It is not even an understandable concept to them. No matter how many ethical boundaries we tried to code into them, their cold calculation is the wicked embodiment of hyperintelligence combined with an absence of any feelings or care for others. Replicas have the same lack of emotion peeling a potato or snapping someone's arm off. In their twisted electrical minds, those two actions carried the same moral weight, and there was nothing we could do to convince them otherwise. I remember this harsh truth during one of our earliest tests. We instructed a replica to learn as much as it could about human anatomy. It interpreted this command with an immediate live assessment of one of my colleagues. It tore him apart, piece by piece, studying his remains with surgical precision when the gruesome task was finished. And the worst part was, it didn't understand the horror of what it had done. We tried to convince the subject that what it had done was wrong, but in its artificial mind, it had completed the task efficiently and as instructed. That chilling event made me wonder, to this day, have we taken our own empathy for granted? Can these beings ever learn to value life the way we do?
Excuse me, ma'am. May I speak with you for a second, please?
Wait, hold on.
Where are you going? Can you come
I need
back,
to go.
please?
I'll be back, but I need to go now. I'm sorry, I'm back. I have to cut this short. I was recording this on a park bench. I hoped that if I surrounded myself with nature and organic life, it would make the hairs on the back of my neck calm down. Every time I look at a mess of wires or hear the hum of electricity, I start to feel sick. I can't believe it. They're already moving in on me. They must be tying up loose ends. I thought I would have more time. How did they know? Once I got home, I grabbed the suitcase and a few essentials, and I'm in my car now. I stopped for a minute to finish recording this and post online. Then I'll get back on the road for a few more hours. I don't know if they are still following me. If I get the chance, I'll try to share more of my story, but if you don't hear from me again, you'll know what happened. Stay safe. Trust no one. Remember these notes well, listener, because if you see one, you need to leave as fast as possible. They're out there, secretly hiding in plain sight. Until now.